Hi everyone, this is Evie and I'm back with a project. It's a design team project for Luisa Diaz's Fall Harvest Printable Kit. And this is the kit that she came out with for the month of September. For the month of October. And I was finally able to work on it today, so I had printed out some of the pieces so that I could take a look at them like in my hand instead of the computer. And these are some of the images in her kit. So she has these tags and these like little postcard images and then these little cards. And these are just printed out in regular copy paper. So these are just tryouts. So I can see the images. These are some little envelopes that she also has in her kit. Super cute images. Love the backgrounds on those envelopes so you can work with them. She also has some tags and some little cards that you can use in several different ways, in minis or cards or tags or whatever you feel like adding those to. I love that turkey. I still have to do something with those two little cards because I love them. And then these are some of the backgrounds that she has in her kit. She has this distressed paper background, which is super good for working on top of. And then she has this wood grain, which is gorgeous. It even has those little, are they called rivets or whatever, like those nail things? And it's all distressed and aged and cracked and super nice texture. And she also has a cork background with some distressed edging to it. And there's a script background here with like different tones on it. So, and then these are some of the images you can cut out. You can fussy cut the little pieces to use in your projects. And it's missing a little piece here that I already used for my project. So these are other things that you can print out and cut apart. And these are some of the ones that I reduced in size, and I used some of the pieces here already for my project. So she has also this border that you can use as a pocket. These are reduced, so I'll show you the bigger one right now. And she has some beautiful butterflies and a bird and a little bird's nest that reminds me of a little scarecrow's head because of the shape. So, and then this is the real size. This is the 8.5 by 11 full size. So she has that beautiful butterfly there, the bird. Look at that beautiful bird. And the beautiful butterfly in orange. And that's the nest. And this little piece, I cut out some of it for my project. So, but that's what that little border looks like. It has a beautiful background image to it. And then she has this little, like border strips that look like ribbons that you can use. And this is that same paper with the embellishments that you can fussy cut, but reduced in size. So I also used some of that. And that paper that I showed you before, this is how it looks when you shrink it down in size. And this is the one that I used. And some of the cork, and this is a huge, not a huge, a super, I don't know why I said huge. It's a super nice, aged looking little envelope that you can cut out and just glue the little, you glue this flap and this flap towards the inside, and then this is a little flap that closes it. And that includes a little piece of like a spiral notebook, but all aged and super nice. And here are the envelopes again. What I did was that I printed the things that I was going to use in an ivory cardstock, because I just felt like having an ivory background on my pieces instead of a white one, since I was using all my fall colors. So that's why I printed everything in an ivory cardstock instead of the white one. And these are big, and these are 8.5 by 11 backgrounds that you can use, but I reduced mine to use them in some other projects. So she has this beautiful owl image with the butterflies and the fall elements. And then she has this other one that has a scarecrow and all the little flowers and has this dress like background with orange and some script. And again, you can use them any size. They come 8.5 by 11, but you can reduce them. So mine are really, really tiny, the ones that I printed out. And these are the same ones that I showed you before, but they're printed in ivory. And these are just the other pieces that I printed out. See, this is the texture that I used for the top of my project. But when you reduce it down, this is how it looks when it's reduced in size. And this is another one of the backgrounds that she has. Is a brownish tone one with some corners to it. Super pretty. But I just printed those out for little backgrounds that I want to work with. And these are the same little tag. It says a time for thanks. And then she has an empty one that you can add like journaling to, or a stamp inside, or whatever you feel like adding to the inside of that. I was going to use this in my project, but I still need to reduce them a lot more for the little piece that I want it for. So that's why I didn't end up using these, but I just have to print out the smaller one. So anyways, let me share with you what I created with her design team kit that she sent me. What I did was I altered, excuse me, I altered one of those jewelry boxes, those white jewelry boxes that you get with like bracelets and watches. So what I did was I gessoed my box and I covered it with acrylic paint in a copper and a antique gold. So that's what's covering the whole box inside and out. And then what I did was I added some gel medium, and I used that jute or burlap background that I showed you before, this one here. This one here. So I added that to the background here of the top of the box. And then I started adding all of my embellishments. So what I did, and then I fussy cut the scarecrow that comes with her kit. And I added him on top of a little popsicle stick. And the little popsicle stick was like this. And I just gessoed it in black, and then I covered it with her wood grain background. And that's what is holding him over here. You can't hardly see it with the lighting in this camera, but that's what's behind him here, and it's a stick that goes into all the fallen leaves that I fussy cut from her kit, and those are glued on top of little wood chips that I've used as a texture for the background. So that's all around the edge of my box. And then these butterflies here are also from her kit, and I just fussy cut those and I glued them on top of little wood chips. And they're going up from the scarecrow up to the bird's nest up here that has a little bird in her nest. And this is also from her kit. You already saw it. And then what I did for the border of the top of the box was that I added some twine in the natural color, which is this here. This one here that I had found locally. So some of it has knots, some of it is going around little wood chips here, and it goes all around with all the wood chips added to it, and then my fall leaves at the bottom. And then the sides, you can see the painted box, and then at the bottom I have this orange trim that has a gold sequence in between the little scallops. I don't know if you can see it with this lighting. Can you see it now? I hope you can see it better. And I'm sorry because my table is a mess because I'm working on a couple of things at the same time. Oh, and then on the inside I also painted it and added some of her journaling backgrounds, or journal backgrounds. Not journal, but the script background that I showed you before, and some pieces of the wood grain around that. So that's the background for my box on the inside, and then just the paint. And then for the bottom of the box, what I did was I covered with this wood grain that I showed you, which is one of her backgrounds. I just cut those pieces and I added that to the whole side of the box, and it's also at the bottom of the box. So it looks like it's a little wooden crate holding what's inside. And inside, I made a little chipboard tag to hold this piece that I created. So this background here is also from her paper. It's a little piece that was missing from that border that she had in her kit, but I love the image on it, so I used that as a background. And then I used some of the same jute or burlap texture for the background of my of my tag. And I just add a little eyelet up here and some lace and satin ribbon in brown and taupe. And there's a little garment pin up here in a brass color holding the Tim Holtz little keychain piece. That is what's on here that I created. I'm sorry for moving everything. I'm trying to do this with one hand. So this little piece here has some of the jewelry pieces that I found here that I took apart. So it has some copper leaves and some antique brass little pieces here. And these baubles here, the acrylic baubles that look like crystals, are ones that Olga had sent me in my first rack ever. So Olga, I'm finally using the things I've been hoarding. Thank you so much. She also sent me these little Tim Holtz keychain pieces. So I finally used those too. So I thank you so much because I was able to create something that I really like with the pieces that you shared with me. And then at the bottom here of the little tag is where I want to add this here. I need to print it out in a smaller size so that I can add it to the bottom of that, and it will say a time for thanks. And then I'll also print out another one of these in a smaller size so that I can add some journaling lines to it and have my little dedication and my signature in the background, in the back of my little tag. And then when you take this out, the bottom of the box is also worked. It's painted inside, and then I added some more of her paper. This one's the one with the cork, and it's mixed with the little jute pieces that I just tore and glued in little bits and pieces. And then I also added some washi tape in the corners up here and like around there. I don't know if you can see it with this lighting, but I have some little pieces of those paper tapes that you get. I don't even remember what brand those are because I just opened all of my packaging and put them all together, so I don't know which ones are which. So that's a mixture of those washi tapes on top of her beautiful backgrounds. And that's it. That's the project that I created using her new Fall Harvest Kit. And I'll make sure to leave, as soon as this uploads, I'll add the link to her web store so you can go in and check out the kit for yourselves and look at all the beautiful images on your computers and hopefully buy some for yourself and make some beautiful projects too. And then I also worked on two little tiny pieces here that'll be part of something else, but I'm just starting out. So this one is the big envelope that I showed, but I just shrunk it out to a little teeny tiny size. I added some stretch ribbon here and some doodling at the top, and then it just says fall at the bottom, but I just twisted the letters a little bit to make it more fun. And this little elastic ribbon is what holds it closed because I didn't have, I should have cut some Velcro, but there's a little bling in the back and there's a little flap. And the little flap I just painted with some distress ink, and I added the faded out fall letters. And then let me pull out my little tag here with my one hand. Oops, sorry. So inside that there's this little tag that has a copper brad and some more of the twine in the natural color, because I don't have any of the other ones. But I love this natural color twine. So I made this little slanted tag using one of her background pages, and I just distressed the back of it with the Tim Holtz Distress ink. I believe this was tea dye, pretty sure. So that's what I made with that. And then this other little piece here is like a little clipboard, and what I did was that I cut the pieces out of her envelope, that same envelope over here. I just shrunk it down more, and I added that little piece over here, which is the little closing flap, on top of my pieces, and made this little clipboard. So it says hello, and it has some stamps of like fall leaves, and then I added some of her trim digital image. I used the brown and the orange here, and that's all clipped down with a tiny attacher. And then on the first page you see the hello, on the second page there's a little dragonfly, and then on the third one you have some fall leaves, and then just the background. So that's a little tiny piece that I worked on. I'll be adding that to something else that I'll be working on hopefully this week. So that's it. That's what I have to share with all of you. I hope you all like it. Luisa, I hope you like what I made with your new kit. Really loved working with it again. So thank you so much for keeping me for this month. Love being part of your design team. And that'll be all for now. So thanks everyone for watching, and hope you have a wonderful week. And make sure to go and check her store so you can see this for yourselves. Okay, so hugs and kisses everyone, and thanks so much for watching. Bye.